What is up, team? 92-73, 19 points. St. John's beats DePaul. 5.5 point favorites, down 12-2. And let's be honest, I'm sure some guys had the letter already written out, the obituary typed up for Mike Anderson in the season, and calling for his removal from the position of head men's basketball coach of St. John's University. I'm sure you guys had your DMs already planned out and typed up and ready to send out to the athletic director and the board of trustees saying how we need to get rid of Mike Anderson. Doesn't have this team prepared on opening night of the Big East tournament. What are we doing? I'm sure it was ready to go. And then what happened? He called the timeout. He made some adjustments, okay? And we went on to beat DePaul 47-17 the rest of that half after being down 12-2. Okay, I hate to point out Coburn, because this is the second game in a row where he started and we got down by 10 points within the first 3 minutes of the game. He is not a great defender, and if his shots aren't falling, I think we can point to that as being at least partially the reason to these early deficits the last 2 games. Then we eventually got our feet underneath us and started playing well. Wusu came in, made some big plays. Smith hit some big shots early. NY made some big plays throughout the rest of the whole game. Mathis hit a 3 early on after missing a dunk. We had over, I think, 10 dunks, and we missed 2 dunks tonight. But and then later in the first half, we were able to get up to a 9-point lead, under 8 timeout. We go back to the 5 starters, and DePaul has an immediate 5-0 run. We take Coburn out again, and then we push the lead back up to double digits. So, I mean, some might be coincidental, some of it, but when it's a pattern like this in a long stretch, and especially these last 2 games specifically, where it's been, really, really predominant, you could see it significantly. I'm just going to keep saying words, I guess. You could understand why coach is hesitant to play Coburn extended minutes. And tonight, everyone else was being productive, aggressive, making things happen offensively and defensively. And Coburn was the one guy, and Stanley as well, who didn't get many minutes, and that's completely understandable when everyone else was playing as well as they were. Pretty much all down the line. Champagne in the first half, shooting unreal, playing unreal. He had 22 points in the first half. He finished with 26 points, 3 for 7 from 3, 10 for 20 overall. He had 7 rebounds. Really didn't take too many bad shots. There was 1 or 2. I thought he forced one, sticks out. In the first half, it was in the mid post, but I thought we did a good job trying to isolate him in that mid post area. Him looking to get into a spot to get good shots early in the shot clock, making sure the defense was aware of him throughout the whole possession, because he draws so much attention, and it's a lot of work for one guy especially, and then the rest of the team being in help position. You can wear teams down a lot doing not just pressing, but making sure they're defending you for 30 seconds or close to it on the other end. Not that we are ever have the ball for 30 seconds. In the first 30 minutes of games, we are getting up shots quickly, and tonight it was going in. Speaking of shots going in, it tells you that the night we had that 1 3 that Smith hit in the second half, doinked off the back of the rim and just rolled slowly in. But that's sometimes the shots fall, sometimes they don't, and when they are falling and you're playing with a lot of aggression and passion and determination like we did tonight, you're able to blow out a team like DePaul, who had been playing pretty well and just beat us a couple weeks ago. Posh had 8 points, 7 assists, no turnovers. All right, played an unbelievable floor game, didn't force things offensively. Was able to really control a game without taking a bunch of shots, and that's kind of what Posh Alexander does, and that's when he's at his best. Did hit a mid-range jumper late. Hopefully he can find that a little bit more like he had rolling a couple weeks ago. Looked like he hurt his leg or his ankle or his knee at one point, but he was able to come back in and look fine, so hopefully he'll be good to go tomorrow. Him and Wusu together really had a great floor game. Combined, they only took 12 shots together, all right, but they had each of them had 8 points. Posh had 7 assists. Wusu had 8 points, 5 assists. Wusu had 1 turnover. Posh had no turnover. So combined, they had 16 points, 12 assists, 1 turnover, and they only took 12 shots. All right. Wusu was 2 for 2 from 3. As a team, we were 7 for 21 from 3. It's a good number, 21 shots, 33%. And it's not something that we can't duplicate or replicate. All right. It's not some, out of this world number where we shot the lights out and we can't, do the same thing tomorrow against Villanova. We take good shots. We work the basketball around. 7 for 21 is something we can definitely do. The bench tonight as a whole really changed the game. NY had 10 points, 9 rebounds. He had a couple nice passes. The development he's had throughout the year has been really good, really solid. A lot of promise. I wish we had him for more than just one more year. Hopefully he does come back for at least that one more year. But he's proven to be a valuable player. And like the things that he doesn't do well aren't things that you don't think he could be good at. Like sometimes he'll get beat defensively. He's just trying to be too aggressive on the perimeter. Sometimes he'll get caught standing around the perimeter offensively, but he's athletic enough to make things happen. Defensively, if he was a little more passive, I think he could really keep guys in front of him. He's proven to be a pretty good shot blocker. He can help out on the boards. Offensively, he's got good passing instincts. He had another nice pass late tonight to Smith on a backdoor cut. We've seen that plenty of times. He did hit a mid-range jump shot. He missed the 3 he took, but the stroke is pretty good. He's athletic enough. He had that Euro step and finish on the fast break. So he's a good quality piece, and he's a completely different player than Soriano, so it's a nice contrast to have. But our front court and all 4 of these guys, can come back. You'd think at least 3 of them are. We'll see about Wheeler, but between Soriano, NY, Wheeler, and Stanley, you've got a pretty versatile front court, I think. And they all bring a little bit something different to the table. They've proven we can play multiple guys together throughout the year. Tonight we saw in the first half Wheeler, Stanley, and Soriano on the court together, which was pretty big. I know it was Wheeler and Stanley, and it was either Soriano and NY, but there was 3 of those guys on the court together for a couple minutes, and it helped us solidify the inside play, grab some boards. Speaking of inside play, that DePaul technical on the hanging of the rim was a pretty big play when you look back at it. They were just making that run that I was talking about. They had cut it to 4 points or 5 points when they got called for the technical on the dunk. And from that point forward, I think we just put a foot on the gas and kind of Mathis had his moments. He also had some, poor moments as well, some forced shots. But overall, he was positive too, played great defense. Smith finished with 13 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, a couple charges taken, a couple savvy plays. He's, I still think he's probably, in terms of the guards, taking Champagne out of the equation, he's probably the most cerebral of our offensive players. I mean, when it comes to scoring off the dribble, off the catch, going to the rim, scoring with guys out on him, drawing fouls, but he's never been able to really put it all together, especially offensively and defensively to get consistent minutes. And I don't blame Coach Anderson for not going to him a lot of the times. I wish, he had played like this more so often throughout the year. He would have been a big-time asset, but it's no coincidence, I think, that he played well tonight in a big-time game. He's got plenty of experience playing in NCAA tournament games and conference championship games, so he can probably understand the moment and the urgency and the importance of the situation, and hopefully he can carry that forward throughout tomorrow and hopefully the rest of the Big East tournament, which doesn't have to end tomorrow. Pinzone had 2 points, didn't play much till late. Stanley didn't score, didn't play much in the second half. I don't think he got in. Looked like he was a little bit hobbled up at those couple minutes he got in the first half. Wusu, like I said, 8 points, 5 assists. That one really nice bounce pass to Champagne in the first half for that dunk was awesome. And aside from that, Wheeler and Soriano were just solid. Wheeler had that real nice drive on the baseline, finish with a dunk. Soriano had a couple nice moves, couple nice finishes off great passes on the interior with some dunks. And Coburn didn't get much minutes aside from those 2 or 3 stretches in the first half where DePaul kind of took advantage. He did have 2 points on our first batch of the game off a nice cut where Soriano found him, but it seemed like defensively he was a step behind and was causing some issues. We play Villanova tomorrow, okay? 2 times this year we lost to, and the first time by 11, I think it was, and the second time by 3 in what was a 20-point game with 5 or so minutes left, and we were able to claw back into it and make a game of it with under a minute left. But this Villanova team is not some team that we're incapable of playing good against, all right? They don't have tremendous size. They don't have tremendous depth. So if all things break right for us, not just talking about shots going in, but if we're playing the right game that puts us in the best position to be successful, a high tempo game, up and down, forcing turnovers, And then we do have some luck with some shots dropping, and hopefully Villanova not being abnormally hot. It's a team we can play well against, I think. It's easy to point to the Carnesecca game last year where we beat them by 20 or so points, and Posh completely changed the dynamic of that team just by himself alone, and gave Colin Gillespie loads of trouble that he is usually immune to. But if we can come close to replicating that defensive pressure and getting Villanova uncomfortable playing to our style of play, we have a chance. And if we shoot really well, especially Champagny and some other guys step up, I'd say we have better than a decent chance. I'd say we have, I don't want to put a number on it, but if Villanova is a 5.5 point favorite, I think that's a good sign that they think we can stay close enough, and if we're hot, anything can happen. But until then, guys, thank you guys for tuning in to the Red Storm Rapid Reaction Podcast. For Justin Burrell, this has been Pat Kane. We'll see you tomorrow. Peace.